Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about the NFL Thursday Night Football slate on November. What's today? 16th.
It's gonna be the 16th. Yep.
Well, it is where I'm at. I'm on the East
There you
Coast,
go.
so it's already the 16th. We're going to be talking about that game, which is between the Ravens and the Bengals. But before we get started with that, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code. They'll double your first deposit up to $100. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and throw the notifications on. If any of these picks change, the lines change, and even if they stay the same, we will be dropping extra picks in our Discord, and we will notify you on YouTube when the picks are live. We usually get at least 2 a day in there. And if you subscribe to our Discord, we drop up to 6 additional picks. Actually, at least 6 additional picks. And then, we do like live research with people, and guys are always hitting us up and they're interested in a pick. And then we'll run our full research and analysis and tell them the odds and the matchup and, injury report type stuff. We run all that for individual picks for our subscribers in there as well. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but we love our community. So we enjoy helping anyone get the win any way we can. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. So let's do a recap of the last NFL game that we covered, which was Monday Night Football. That was between the Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. I had 2 picks that night. I took Will Lutz, the kicker, for the Broncos. And I took Dalton Kincaid for over his receiving yards of 53.5. Will Lutz was 5.5 kicking points. So Will Lutz crushed it. He ended up going for 13. He had 4 field goals and 1 extra point. I kind of figured that was like a pretty low line. I wasn't expecting that game to go the way it did, though. The Bills, like out of nowhere, just have all sorts of stuff that they need to figure out. And I'm surprised Dalton Kincaid came as close as he did to even hitting his receiving yards. He ended up falling short, just three receiving yards. But if you were watching the game, they looked like a mess. So yeah, that one fell just a little bit short for us. But yeah, so my picks went 1 of 2. What'd you have, Jordy?
Yeah. The night started off great. Diggs had like 2, so we took Stephon Diggs to go over 9.5 targets. He had 5. He looked like he was on pace to do pretty good. He had 2 in the first quarter, and then something just kept looking weird. They weren't throwing to him at all, and then after the game we find out Stephon Diggs puts on his Instagram that he said, I asked Allen at halftime to get me the ball more, and he said put on a Broncos jersey. So they've got some things going on over there. We took Courtland Sutton to go over 3.5 receptions, though, and he went for 8. So he crushed that for us. But yeah, very interesting drama going on over there in Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm not freaking out just yet, but I in our dynasty league, I traded away Courtland Sutton thinking I was totally selling high on him.
Yeah.
And it looks like his usage is just getting better and better. But I got like a 2025 first rounder for him. So I was like, whatever, it's time to cash out. So I'm still happy with it. But anyways, let's get into our picks for this week. So yeah, what did we go? 2 out of 4 last week?
2 out of 4.
Yeah, it was a close one. The Diggs thing, that's the last one we would expect to bust. But it is what it is. That's the way it goes. So, all right. So this week, I've got 2 actual receiving yards plays, and they're both tight ends for opposing teams. To get us started, I'm going to go with like the safety blanket, Mark Andrews, over 55.5 receiving yards. I think he can get this done. Actually, both of these teams aren't really that crazy of a threat against tight ends production. Let's look at the over-under on this real fast. That's the wrong over-under. It's NBA. Actually, I didn't even look at the over-under. Let's go ahead and I'll pull this up real quick. Okay, so we got an over-under of 46 points. So they're expecting it to be pretty high scoring, with the Ravens favored by just 3.5 points. So maybe we'll have a nice little shootout here. Although I just don't know. I mean, the Bengals defense is pretty stout. Not the Bengals, the Ravens defense, pretty stout. But that'll be fun if it ends up being a pretty high scoring game. And so if we look at Mark Andrews over the last 5 games, he's averaging just under 60 yards a game. But we know that he can pop off for like 80, 60, 70, 80 yards any given week. And if we look at what the Bengals are allowing on average, they're allowing like just under 8 targets and around 6 receptions a game to tight ends, and right around 67 receiving yards. And I think most of the tight ends that they're playing against are not of the caliber that Mark Andrews is. So I like him to go over 55.5 tomorrow. And to be honest, with these single game slates, you don't really have like a whole lot of options. It's tough. Like even if you've got 2 good teams, it can be tough to come up with like a lot of solid picks. So I'm going to take Mark Andrews on the over there. And then I'm actually going to be taking Tanner Hudson, who's been emerging over the last 3 weeks. He's been kind of like getting more, it seems like he's been surprisingly in a little bit of a battle between him and Irv Smith on getting the lion's share of the snaps for the Bengals. But he's been kind of like proving himself and working his way in more and more over the last 3 weeks. If we look at what he's been doing, especially in his last 2 games, he's been getting about 6 targets a game and catching 5 of those, averaging about 39 yards receiving. And if we look at what the Ravens are allowing, they're allowing about 7 targets and just under 5 receptions a game for about 37 yards a game. So where this line's set at, I'm comfortable taking this for over 22.5. I was looking at his receptions as well, but they were set at 3, which I felt comfortable with. If you're more of a receptions person, you feel more comfortable with that, you can go for that. But if one of the deciding factors for me was when you look at the odds makers, what they think's going on over there, they've actually got the odds at minus 130 for 20.5. So the 2-yard bump doesn't really scare me too much. So I'm going to go with that over the receptions because sometimes, I don't know, I've had those situations where your guy just needs one more reception and it just doesn't get another look for the rest of the night. So I'd rather just see him, maybe break off a couple receptions for 10, 15 yards and call that one good. So that's the 2 I got. What do you got going, Jordan?
Yeah, man. I actually really liked that Hudson pick. I almost took that one myself. Let's see. So for me, I got to go over here to NFL. So for me, I'm going to be taking a look at Lamar's rushing yards here. I love this pick. I've watched a lot of Lamar Jackson. I'm a huge fan of him. I've seen this matchup almost every time it goes on, and Lamar goes crazy when he goes against the Bengals. His rushing yards are insane when he plays them. I don't know why. He just puts on his running shoes against them, but he averages 71 rushing yards against them. He's gone over 100 yards multiple times against them, and in their last matchup, he went for 54. And they're not very good right now against the run, the Bengals. They're giving up I think 39 rushing yards, but they haven't played a rushing quarterback like Lamar. So I'm loving this pick to go over. The history says it all. I mean, he's rushed for 642 yards against the Bengals in his career already. So that's insane. Most running backs haven't even done that to them. So I'm loving this pick. I think the odds, let's see here. Yeah, it's a minus 125. So I'm loving this pick a lot. I'm going to be taking that. And then my second pick, I'm going to take Odell Beckham for his receiving yards here. Set at 26.5. He's been doing pretty well. He's definitely just a role player kind of guy for them right now. He's just coming in and doing his part and helping to open up that run offense for them. And he's been doing fantastic. I mean, he's hit this 4 out of the last 5 games. And against Arizona, he actually tweaked his ankle, so he went out. And ever since then, he's been great. He had 1 catch against Cleveland and he went for 40 yards. So, I mean, he's getting right around 3 targets a game. But there are games where he's gone way over that line. If we look at what he's done since he's been with Baltimore, he's been doing pretty good. I mean, 7 targets, 4 targets. So he's right around 4.5 targets a game. So I like it enough to roll the dice on it. And it's a minus 125. So feeling good about those ones, man.
Great. So yeah, those are our 4 picks. It's a single game slate, like we said. The odds makers are kind of feeling the same way we are for these, so that always makes us feel a little bit better about the picks that we've got going here. But if you've got picks that you're interested in, throw them in our comments. We'd like to see what was sticking out on the board to you. And enjoy the game, and we'll catch you in the next video, guys.
Good luck, boys.